Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview Sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. Today I have the good fortune to be welcoming back a repeat guest and friend, Jon Benson, who you probably know is the inventor of the video sales letter. Jon was last on the show, I think it was over a decade ago, almost 12 years ago.
Yeah.
He's been up to a lot since then. So, Jon, thank you so much for coming back.
Oh, it's good to be back again, Seth. Like I said, every decade, man.
Every decade. All right. So tell us a little bit about how your world has changed and what you're up to now beyond being, obviously the billion-dollar copywriter behind an entire movement.
Well, a lot. I mean, we've been into what became AI since 2010. We started back in the dinosaur era when it comes down to AI, back into very early, really nascent machine learning stuff, which is what led me into developing the software tools I did, and eventually led me into developing Benson, and that was the first real copywriting AI. And that was dedicated to direct response copywriting, long form direct response copywriting. And so we've been doing this quite a while. And so that's been like a big focus of mine, not because I think that we want to replace copywriters, but because we just want to do things much faster, much more efficiently, give you the abilities of 10 people rather than one. So that's kind of the focus.
Awesome. So talk a little bit about, kind of what you've built.
Yeah, so what our approach was from day one was this is back. You got to go again. We're talking like it's like dog years, right? Every year in AI is like a dog year. It's 7 years in real time. But you have to go back to like back in GPT-3 days, right? When you could get maybe 30 words out of the AI and it sounded all the same, and it was really pretty horrible. But we saw the potential, we saw the handwriting on the wall, and so we started a company reached out to me and said, "Could you put your video sales letter formula inside of our? Could you let us train the model on it?" I said, "Sure, knock yourself out," because I was like, "There's just no way it's going to happen." And back then I was right. So they got 60 seconds worth out of it, and that's about it. But during that process, I saw a way to do it that they weren't doing. And I told my team, I said, "I think that this may work. Let's try it this way." And ended up trademarking the process. And so we have a trademark on it. And we built Benson, the platform, the AI platform around this entire process. So it's how we figured out how to do it 4 years ago. And the funny thing is, it's like, we're completely agentic. We were talking about agentic stuff 2.5 years ago before people even knew the term. But the agents are not smart enough to this very day to write copy the way that we were able to write copy with Benson. So we use agents to do certain things, but we still rely on the same exact principles that we were using, 4 years ago. So I think that it's a little bit different in the sense that you're not just typing into an empty field saying, "I think I need a video sales letter or an email sequence, and I have no idea what it is," or "Here's the one I like," that kind of thing. That thing you can do in chat. This is much more sophisticated and gives you better copy. So that's copy that converts.
That's even more important.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about how you've rolled it out, how you've made it available, and kind of what it's been doing.
Yeah, so we rolled that out originally. I opened it up to just an inner circle of about 100 people. Went to Todd Brown's mastermind. I was a member of that for years, and said, "Hey guys, I have this thing, and I'm tossing between two names. And one of the names sounded like a typical AI name, and the other one was Benson. Everybody goes, you have to call it that. You have to call it." So my wife was very emphatic about it. I think it's because it's her last name too, but nonetheless, it's my last name without the vowels. And it was rolled out. Originally, it was going to be, okay, I'm just going to write the world's first VSL AI. So this is why not? My name is attached to it. And while we were rolling it out, I was like, why on earth limit it to just VSLs when it can? That's the hard part. The easier part is the emails and the ads and things like that. So we rolled it out as a complete framework based system, and we were using the term frameworks, and it was really funny because I never in a million years saw that framework would be like a new AI term that would come along. I would love to think that I took some kind of credit in that, but I don't think so. But nonetheless, it's like next thing you know, everybody's talking about frameworks and going, man, we have they're literally called frameworks in the platform. And I just changed it to generators because I didn't like the name framework because it sounded like a template. And so anyway, we've been doing framework style stuff for ages, and we would just take the frameworks and do a more sophisticated version of it, that's what we trademarked, something called pre-prompting. So we do something before the prompt gets sent, and it's a pretty cool way of getting copy to sound, or anything to sound better, really, but especially copy.
That is awesome. Have you had enough usage that people have implemented it and kind of you can report back in terms of the improvement in results and stuff that they're getting?
Oh yeah, 4 years worth, and it's yeah, all the video testimonials are all over our pages. So yeah, yeah, it's definitely the Ferrari of copywriting applications for sure. I mean, that's we want to be known for one thing and one thing only: great copy. It's like it's really neat that I've got friends of mine that say, "Oh, look at our AI will build the copy and also bake you a cake at the same time," and that's great. But I just want the copy is paramount, and trust me. I see so many of these, and they are, yeah, they're just skills. They're just running skills, trying to hope and pray that the AI spits out the right copy, and we don't do that. Well, we run skills, but we don't. We run it through multiple models, multiple LLMs, multiple different temperature settings, and we'll run one piece of copy 4 or 5 times before you ever see it. So we're saying, okay, now run this and then take this out and make this structure and do this and pull this. So it's a lot of stuff back and forth that no one in their right mind would probably want to do on their own. And so we just make it easier for them. And plus, I was just asked this morning, well, what's the difference in this and say going to Claude, which is a pretty good writer? So, well, because Claude is limited to one LLM. I mean, unless it's just if you're using OpenClaw, maybe you can get by with it. But Claude itself, it's not going to call OpenAI and Grok, and it's not going to do that. But we know that there are certain LLMs that are better at certain parts of certain things than other LLMs and other models, and so that's basically what we do. We built the system from day one to be LLM agnostic. So that's kind of an important part of it.
Absolutely. So is it doing all of the things that you just referenced, or am I
Mhm.
now okay, so I don't have to take it to 7 different LLMs and figure out what to tell each one to do.
Gosh, no, man. We wanted to make it so. I mean, so the two things we coined was pre-prompting and promptless AI. So we trademarked those two terms because when we came out, there was no other AI that I was aware of that you didn't need a prompt. So we didn't work on any prompts at all. You literally you just click buttons. And so I thought at that time, and looking back, I was wrong about this, and that's okay. I don't mind being because I'm wrong about a lot of things, but I was definitely wrong about this. I said, "Who wants to be a prompt engineer?" It seems like people fell in love with being prompt engineers for a little while. Now they're back to, oh, I don't know about, they're getting into skills and frameworks, and we were kind of like at that point from day one saying, "Look, just you don't have to worry about what to ask it." Now we have a way you can ask it or you can not ask it. You can click a button or not click a button. But my point is that before you couldn't even ask anything. You just click a button and out comes the copy. And we wouldn't want you to figure out like, oh, I should have this temperature setting at this model for this part of the lead. It's just like, no one's going to do that but a human. And that's where I think a lot of the AI apps fall apart is they're just skins and clones of ChatGPT or whatever. And we're definitely not that. I think, could have made a lot more money. I think less development costs, but there's no way I'm going to put out something crappy with my name on it.
What do you think surprised you the most about what you built?
Well, there's a good and a bad in that. I said when I said the bad, the challenging part was I really thought that this would like be the most obvious thing in the world for people. That, oh my gosh, I don't have to put a prompt in here at all. This is the easiest thing in the world. And I thought that this is going to take off on a massive scale, right? Well, so that did not happen. It took off on a scale for a very like it was like almost like a cult classic film. It's like it just kind of had this slow burn of a grind of like just people catching on, going, "Oh my gosh, there's this app over here that does all this stuff." But it was not the explosion that I was hoping for, despite being on top of everything and all that. And what was the explosion was, oh, I can chat in a question, and I had to educate people like if you put your own question in there, that contaminates the thread. So we know like now we have a phrase called context rot. So if you've gone through any sort of like long form, lots of back and forth with, say, Claude Code or whatever, you get what's called context rot. You get too many words in there, it's going to start spazzing out and doing weird things and all. Well, that was way worse 4 years ago, way worse. So we're like, look, don't put stuff in there. Let us do this for you. And that was a harder sell than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like an Apple kind of thing. Oh, it's like Apple. And the people that got it. And so the rest of it's been education. And the thing that surprised me the most on the positive side is people sending me stuff like, man, I literally just output this VSL and it's making 500 grand on cold traffic. So yeah, those kind of things are, yeah, that we were the very first AI that I know of for sure that was doing high volume, conversions on VSLs and ads and email campaigns and things like that. Because we're doing it as right as we can.
That is absolutely incredible. So we use tons of different AIs, obviously, in our business. So now I've got to ask, if you're telling me, how is it giving me a VSL script if I am not prompting it? Like, ultimately, I understand I can click some buttons, but theoretically, I don't have to answer some questions at some point.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
two, does your AI, or do you have one that you recommend that now, after you've got a script, will actually produce the video?
Great question. Let me take the second one first. Okay. So I have an AI, a separate AI app that does exactly that. It takes a script and turns it into the video that you output. Those are completely different things, and they always will be because again, we're in the business of one thing only. We're words. If we start saying, oh, we can also do this now, we can interlink with that. You can API into that, and that's fine. But I really want those to be two completely separate entities entirely. That really needs to be that way. And I hope that people appreciate that we're not trying to be, this is going to be a cafeteria style kind of thing. Because when you have a cafeteria, I don't care what the cafeteria is, all the items there suck. They just suck less than other things, right? You're not going to get a Michelin star restaurant quality meal at a cafeteria. You're just not going to do it, right? And so we want to be that high quality Michelin star meal experience, and so we want to focus just on that one thing. So so the code, everything is built around one thing, words and only. So, but the first question is very interesting, and I think it's something that I know that Kevin would really appreciate because we've had long conversations about this. He and I. Is what I do as a copywriter is exactly how I built Benson is we interview you. So we just ask you questions. And so we know that the customer, 95% of the time, they're not going to know they're not going to know what questions to ask. They're going to come to a platform and go, if you're looking at ChatGPT and you've got the prompt, the chatbot staring at you, and you're going, okay, I need let's say a video sales letter since we're talking about it. I need a VSL. So you type in what I need a VSL, right? Well, chat's been trained on the entire internet. The internet is flooded with really bad VSLs. So that's not the best way to go about it. So what we do is a little bit different. Is we'll say like, okay, we're going to start for the foundation. What do you want to make money with? Tell me what you want to sell. Well, I've got a dog book. I got a dog training book. Okay, great. Let's do some research on that real quick. Give me 1 second. Oh, I just found about 10 things that you may want to be focused on. The comments that people are saying about this. This is what's going on Reddit right now. We're going to pull some of this into the VSL. So before you even know what you're talking, so, I didn't think about that. So let's get a big idea. What's the big idea behind it? Well, what's a big idea? Well, the big idea is this golden thread that's going to run through your marketing. It's going to be the thing that makes your book stand out from everybody else's. And so we just walk someone through this entire process as I would as a copywriter. So the exact same process is what we do. We interview. That's what I did for years. That would be the large part of our budget when somebody hired me for 100 grand to write a letter, 25 of it would be for interviewing, for just getting to the research. I mean, the research is just grinding. Benson does the research automatically.
That is absolutely fantastic. You and people following your firm have generated billions and billions of dollars in sales. What's your biggest challenge now?
It's definitely growth. Biggest challenge right now is expansion with being in Facebook jail. That's
We can have a separate conversation about that. I have a few scars there from that.
Oh my gosh, I don't know anyone that doesn't, and it's so funny because ours has nothing to do with doing something wrong in the ad
I was going to
department.
say you're an innocuous category. It's like you're not health, you're not wellness, you're not money, you're not vice. Like
nope, no. It's I've been in jail I was kicked off of Facebook for 3 years, and then they let me back on. But I've got 60,000 followers on Instagram, and I can't market to any of them. So we have to come up with other ways. Which is, I do a lot. I've got a YouTube channel. I do a lot of stuff where I just speak about all sorts of different things. So it's more fun that way in a way, rather than trying to, okay, now we have to focus on traffic sources. YouTube's fine, but Meta's been beyond challenge. And I'm not the only one that's gone through this, but I think I'm the only one that's gone through it for free speech reasons. So I think that's Kevin and I could talk for hours about that too. So,
absolutely, your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're up to now?
Oh, dude, man, I absolutely love what I do. It's like I started this company when a lot of people quit doing stuff, and I'm like, I never will. I love it, and I've been fascinated with tech and science fiction since I was a kid. So seeing AI come to life, I'm just seeing Lieutenant Commander Data standing over my shoulder. I'm just seeing is this getting closer and closer to a world where we get rid of so many things. And I know that there's a lot of growing pains and horrible things that happen because of technology. Always does, throughout all of human history. But hopefully, the end result is not going to be a P-doom of 100%. It's going to be like maybe 5%, and then we'll all end up okay and a lot better off. So yeah, it's exciting. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. For our folks who are watching, listening, and want to learn more, where do they go to learn more about you and get Benson?
Okay, just go to bnsn.ai. And we also have something called freebuyerprofile.com that tells you it's free. It gives you a 15-page report on the words and phrases that you should be using in your marketing and you should avoid in your marketing depending on what. And we do this based on exactly what you're selling. So it gives you great little insight.
Okay, so freebuyerprofile.ai and Benson freebuyerprofile.com and Benson BENSN.com.
It's bnsn.ai.
Without the vowels, that's what you meant.
Yeah, bnsn.ai. Yeah.
bnsn.ai.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for clarifying. Glad we're going to send them to the right place.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we greatly appreciate your time. We know it's incredibly valuable. This has been Seth Greene with Jon Benson from freebuyerprofile.com and bnsn.ai. Jon, thank you again for coming back to the show.
Thank you, Seth. My pleasure.
Thank you, everybody, for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.